Jimbo and I decided to climb up in this river's edge tree stand that he's got on the south end of this property. We got a pretty good stiff west wind that's switching to a northwest wind here in a little bit. So as of right now, our wind is a little bit iffy and it's swirling a little bit more than I would like, but hopefully once that wind switches out of the northwest, it'll stiffen up and get a little more consistent for us. But it's starting out pretty good. We've had a few deer running around on the neighbor's alfalfa field here. It looked like maybe a little buck bumping some does around, but last night 2 of our shooters were down on this cornfield, so they're within the area. A couple of them was on one of these cameras that's right here over by us, so we just need one of these deer to work, and it's a matter of time, I think. We've had a pretty good effort here in the last couple weeks here, and just a matter of time that one of these deer is gonna slip up and hopefully walk by us. You got him, Jim. How was it?
Good.
Were you on him?
Oh yeah.
I just toasted him 50. He was at.
Well, a little bit speechless this morning, honestly. It's been 9 years since I've punched a buck tag in Wisconsin, and I honestly have so many people to thank for this, to make this happen this morning. First and foremost, Jim, I gotta thank you. This is all on Jim. He gave us the keys to his castle this year with him having shoulder surgery, so he gave Dan and I the reins to come out here to Jean's and go after some of these deer. And Dan punched his tag back in early October, and November the 8th I was able to punch mine. This guy really pretty much drew it up as I envisioned it in my head. We were sitting over this cut cornfield here and just hoping to catch one cruising. I actually caught him. I just so happened to check my cameras, and I caught him up on the other end of the cornfield thinking he was maybe gonna come down the edge, and he ended up popping out on one of our domain plots that's just across the way, and just so happened he was coming down the edge towards us and going to scent check probably the field behind us, and I happened to range the edge of the corn prior to that once I got a picture of him, just so I was kind of ready, and ranged the edge of the corn at 55, and he came kind of right down the edge, so I set the pin to 50, and and I got drawn on him. He must have caught me a little bit drawn, because he stopped and he kind of quartered too, but I put her right on him and let one fly, and she hit home. So we watched him run about, I don't know, what do you say, he went 75 yards or so, and he piled up in the field behind us. So again, I just so thankful. I'm having my best year I've ever had. Started it out in North Dakota, killing the best buck I've ever shot, and now breaking a 9-year streak here in Wisconsin. Just so thankful. My wife, always thankful for her back at home taking care of our son and allowing me to come out here with Jimmy and really just do what I love the most. And it's so rewarding after, you know, all summer long. I feel like we made all the right moves this summer. Put in 4 different domain plots. Dan killed his over a domain plot, and these deer were hitting those plots really good. And I feel like we, you know, had a good, you know, hunting strategy all year. We just let those plots soak and just let those deer be, and made our moves kind of strategically, you know, on the right weather days, right wind days, and of course November 8th here, you're going to be out in the woods. So it all came together. It's my first buck that I've ever killed with my bow in November, so I take that comment back that I made the other day in the tree about sweet November. It's finally is being a little sweet to me, so hopefully can keep a good year rolling. So appreciate it, Jim.
Yeah, no problem.
You want a sight that's built to last, has been proven, has a lifetime warranty, and is made right here in the USA. HHA makes sights for all archers, all skill levels, and for all users. Whether you're flinging arrows in the backyard or going on the trip of a lifetime, trust isn't built overnight. It's built by being #1 for decades. HHA.
We just got set up here this afternoon. It's the 9th of November. Me and Hayden are in a tree tonight here in Urban. Hunted my permission piece this morning. Activity was kind of slow. Took a break during the day, and it has been pretty miserable weather. It's been raining the last few hours. It's supposed to let up here the rest of the evening though, but we still got a little bit of a mist here. The first spot we originally were going to actually go and sit tonight, we got to the stand and the tree was a little bit, I haven't sat it before, and the tree was a little bit bigger than I originally anticipated. So we opted on not going to that spot. Came back in here to this area that we've hunted the last few times, and we're just repositioned a little bit tonight, about 50-60 yards from where I have been sitting. A lot of these deer have been kind of running this ditch edge with where the timber is. Last time we were in here, we saw a pretty solid 8-pointer. About every sit we've seen a good buck here, and actually we weren't even set up in the tree, and we had a solid 8-pointer come running up through the ditch here. Got to about 75 yards from us. Unfortunately got on the downwind side and spooked, but we're finally set up now. I got the recurve tonight. Figured I'd switch something up, get our mojo changed. We actually got some does running across the field right now here. Got a little buck out in the field. So hopefully we have some good luck tonight here. I really think, we've seen a lot of deer already, and we've literally just gotten set up in the tree, so I think it's going to be a good evening. But we just need one to come in our lap here, and hopefully the recurve can change our luck, because it's been tough sledding for us so far in Iowa. He's gonna bring her right in our freaking lap. She wants to go out in the field and he's not gonna let her. We're losing light fast here in Iowa. It's been a rainy, overcast, wet night, but we had some good deer movement. Had an awesome encounter with same buck that we actually had an encounter with here last week. He's just a stud 3.5-year-old. Come through with a doe. Doe came to 18 yards. He hung back at about 30. Had the recurve tonight, so I mean, I told myself last week when I saw him I wasn't going to shoot that deer no matter what, even with the recurve, so we got a lot bigger deer in here to hunt. And I'm still kind of praying that some of these more mature deer that we had pictures of last year will eventually show up here any day now, so. There's one running coming across right now. It's either a doe or a little buck. But no, it's been a good night. We've seen quite a few deer, a few bucks, a handful of does and fawns. The weather was kind of disappointing though. It was supposed to let up on the radar and it's pretty much rained on us, misted on us all night. But next few days it's going to be pretty good. It's supposed to clear up. We got wind switch here tonight back to west, and then we got like northwest here on Monday. So we should have some really good sits ahead of us and be able to hunt some of my permission pieces, and I'm really excited to get into those because got some solid bucks on them. So thanks for watching the live this week. Thanks for watching them all season if you've been on here and supporting the channel. We enjoy doing them for you guys, and we look forward to bringing them to you next year, and hopefully we can just make it bigger and better every year. So we're going to stick it out here. The last few minutes we'll probably lose light before shooting actually, but that's all I got. It's November 11th. Veterans Day. First off, huge thanks to everybody that served the country, past and present. We wouldn't be out here doing this today if it wasn't for you guys, so. I got Ross with me. Brandon headed to Missouri. Ross has been hunting the last couple days, but he's back behind the camera here this morning. Slipped in a spot we call the Cedar water hole. It's pretty calm here in the woods this morning. Supposed to be about a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind out of the northwest, switching to north today. Pretty damp in the woods. Got in here super quiet. It's been slow for us. I don't know how else to put it. We feel like any day now it's gonna bust loose. We're in a really good spot. We just need a hot doe to come past us or a big buck to come searching. We got two really good bedding areas. One north of us, one south of us, so we're in a good area.
Had a couple good bucks at this water hole yesterday. Hoping Balboa shows up. We'll see how it goes today. Is it that one that's all scarred up? Here he comes. See him? He's coming right to us. Here he comes. Doe's like 3 yards to the left of him right now in that tree. Well, we're getting down to the wire here on Veterans Day. Started out promising. We had a hot doe down in the ditch here for pretty much most of the day. Had that buck come in, hit the water hole, just beautiful. And watched a handful of smaller bucks kind of pop in and out, and he would run them off. And eventually, I think he pushed his doe up the hill away from us. He probably bounced around 1:30, 2 o'clock. And it's been pretty slow since then. I don't think we've seen a deer the last couple hours here. Surprising, the conditions are about perfect. But I don't know, it's been a weird start to November for us. We're either out of the action or they're just not clicking yet. Our cameras have been pretty dead But tomorrow's a new day. We are gonna stay positive, stay patient. And one of these days it's gonna happen. We just gotta keep putting in the time. Not really sure what our plan is tomorrow. We'll figure that out later. But if nothing happens here in the next 10 minutes, we'll see you guys tomorrow. It's November 12th. We are on a different farm this morning, closer to camp. I think this is our third sit in this blind. Me and Ross sat it once. Me and Brandon sat it once. And me and Ross are back in it again today. Sets up really good for the southeast wind we got today. Access is perfect across the pasture. We sit here and look out into this CRP. We've already seen a handful of deer on their feet. Group of does, couple solo does, and we just had our first buck of the day chasing a doe over here on the hill. It was kind of off to the right of the blind, so Ross wasn't able to get the camera on it. It happened kind of quick, but the good news is my target buck, Balboa, showed back up early this morning at like 4:30, hitting some scrapes. Looked like he was by himself. Unfortunately, the wind is about as bad as it gets to go in that farm, so that's not really an option today. There's a couple big deer in this area that I would love to lay my eyes on. We're gonna sit tight here for a while. I don't think it's gonna be an all-day affair, but we'll definitely sit here for a while this morning, see what we see. Small buck, but it's coming right at us. Another deer behind him, looked like a doe. He's decent. I'm gonna hit him. Oh yeah. Cedars. I don't know what it is yet. If I had to guess, he's gonna pop up in this opening right here by this red bush. There he is. That's him. That's him. He looks pretty good. He's coming on, boys. You should see him here pretty soon. It's not him. It's a good buck. Well, it's going on about 11 o'clock right now. We've kind of had, I would say, consistent movement most of the day.
Nothing too crazy, but just seems like about every 15, 20 minutes we'd see a deer somewhere. We can see a long ways. But about an hour ago here now, caught a buck cruising down here in this bottom, and wasn't exactly sure what he was, but I could tell he had a nice rack on his head, so I hit the antlers together, and he came up to the fence to investigate, and he actually took the fence down probably 100 yards before he finally wanted to cross, and he crossed out into the pasture, and I mean, just perfect, came right up to us. Had him at 25 yards. It's actually a buck I call Garth. Ross and I seen him the last time we were in here. We watched him pretty much stick to a doe all day long for like 6-7 hours that day. Pretty much straight across from us in this CRP, but he was definitely cruising here this morning, which is good to see. Yeah, just not quite what we're hoping to connect with here. I know there's bigger bucks around. Haven't seen them yet, but they're definitely in the area, and we got a lot of time left, so awesome encounter, awesome buck, but we're gonna pull out of here, go get some lunch. Not really sure what the plan is this afternoon. Might take the afternoon off. Honestly, we got better weather coming. Tomorrow might be a rain day, but later this week's gonna be really good. Full moon coming, and it's looking like some good wind directions for us, so that's gonna be it here for this morning. We'll be back at it soon enough.